What's up, everybody? Okay, so UFC 285 just happened. Crazy card, surprising happenings, disappointing happenings. James and I are going to talk about it, so don't change that channel. Check it out. Keep playing. Watch to the end.
1978とある田舎町で生まれて移り住んだ新宿で育ちこの町で起きたこれまでの俺たちのここまでの生い立ちはほんのまた地も吉試されたいちいち正してきた過ち騙し合いやからしないはスニッチの始まり放課後の参照児童館にホームアローンそんな時間はほったらかして向かったとある場所
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Yamatodamashii podcast. Enson, we're back. We're back on video call. We're talking UFC 285 today.
Yeah.
Fun event. I enjoyed it very much. I've only seen the main card, though. I still need to check out some of the prelim fights because I heard they were pretty good as well. But overall, big takeaway from the event? Anything in particular that sort of struck you the most?
The main event was a little disappointing. I kind of wanted to see a little more.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and yeah, so yeah, I mean, fuck, just the co-main event just blew me away.
What, the Grasso and Valentino?
Yeah.
You know, the fight for me that was really the one I thought delivered the most, which was the one I was most looking forward to, was Rhakmonov versus Jeff Neal.
That was a crazy fight.
I love that fight just because I've been talking about Rhakmonov for quite a while now since he joined the UFC and that crazy, that finish record. You just don't see that, right? 17-0, all finishes.
And he's so tough, man. Because he got hit hard.
Yeah, and then when he lost his mouthpiece as well, like in the beginning, I was like, "Ooh, old school."
That's as tough as they come nowadays.
Yeah, but yeah, let's get into some of the fights anyway. Let's start with the main event. So, Jon Jones versus Gane. Any thoughts heading into the fight first?
Well, yeah, there was all this suspect of both of them being injured, and it was kind of like, oh shit. And then before Jones gets in the ring, his toes are all taped up. It's like, oh fuck, he's hurt. So it was like, I mean, I didn't really know what kind of fight it was going to be. If Jon Jones decided to, I felt that if Jon Jones decided to take him down, I mean, Francis Ngannou, which isn't a grappler, controlled Sera Bag on the ground. So I thought Jon's really good on the ground, good takedowns. And if he decides to take him down, it's probably going to be a fast fight. And I thought, but he might have this little ego thing and want to strike with Gane. And I was like, that would be interesting. So, I guess as a fan, I was hoping that there'd be more striking, more exchanges to see how Jones would do in the heavyweight. But, I mean, he did the right thing. That's what I would have probably told my fighter to do. Exchange a little bit of striking, wait for that right time for the takedown, and do your thing on the ground. So, it was what I thought was going to happen, but back in the back of my head, I was hoping that there was going to be a little ego interfering with strategy, and I was hoping we'd get like an exciting little throwdown there.
Yeah, it's funny, right? And when you said about the injuries and that, because I kept thinking like, oh, this fight's not going to happen. This fight, because it would have been 3 years since we last saw Jon Jones, and then there's always something that happens like outside the octagon before. And I was like, oh, it's definitely not going to happen. And then we were like, getting the weigh-ins. I'm like, okay, cool. Looks like we're good. And then he's walking to the cage. And then there's that thing about the toe. And I was like, no way. Don't tell me they're going to stop him from even like getting in the cage or something like that. And then the bell goes, obviously. And then the first like strike that Gane throws is a low blow. And I was like, yeah, here we go. But,
and the thing that you can't hold your breath on, remember, it's Jon Jones. So there's even a chance of this drug test fail.
True.
Vacant title, he's suspended, so
I will say hopefully the look of his physique didn't look too his physique looked USADA safe, let's put it that way.
Yeah. I personally thought he looked a little slow. But you know, when you're fighting in the heavyweight, speed isn't usually the biggest problem.
Right.
So maybe he compensated a little bit of power for speed, which I think was a smart choice. And man, it was damn. He made it look so easy. And then you have, of course, I know if A beats B and B beats C doesn't mean A is going to beat C, but still, I mean, for Ngannou to just barely pull out the win by straight changing strategy on Gane, and Don just pretty much not taking a single shot, not breaking a drop of sweat. You know, it's almost like we won't really miss Ngannou in the UFC. I mean, I was hoping that he'd come back. You know, I mean, of course, Dana made the statement that he's done with the UFC. He's never coming back. But he also did say that there's no women in the UFC, and Ronda Rousey came. He also did say that Josh Barnett would never fight in the UFC, and Josh Barnett did. Yeah. So, you know, that's what Dana's feeling right now. So I was thinking that, oh yeah, if Gane gave Jones a rub, then it'd be like a real intriguing thing to think, okay, wait, Francis beat Gane, and he has that punching power that could knock Jones out. So it's like, okay, I want to see that. But now it's like, I don't even know if I want to see a Ngannou Jones.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the fact that he left the UFC, the fact that Dana's saying that, I guess part of me is also giving up on that.
See, and I think I'm more intrigued in it now. That's weird. We got different views, because before I was kind of like, I think Jones will just take him down. He'll lose, like kind of what he did to Cyril Gane. But then when I saw Jones's stand-up, it was like, admittedly, there wasn't much to go by. But he did definitely look a lot slower. You could tell like this was a different John Jones. So that kind of made me more interested to see the Ngannou fight, because I feel like, you know, he's got that crazy knockout power.
The only thing is, I still think the biggest problem is going to be is he's got good wrestling. He will take Ngannou down, and I don't think Ngannou will have any answers on the ground.
Yeah, could be. I'd still like to know the answer though.
I guess I don't want to set myself for another letdown, thinking, oh, now Ngannou has that power. What if he hits John and then Book takes down, controls him on the ground, finishes him? Like, it was such a letdown in this fight. Like, when he got the top and the guillotine is okay, he doesn't have the right angle for the guillotine, and you know, it's like, oh. Then Gane tries to stand up, exposes his neck, and John sets it in, and now Gane's back is against the fence, so he got no play room. And then he tapped. Like, I was like, oh my God. Couldn't anything but that have happened? Yeah. So fast.
What do you think while we're talking on Ngannou, what do you think about how he was basically like erased from all the hype? Unless it was the media bringing Ngannou up. It was kind of UFC didn't put him in like any of the pre-fight footage. It wasn't mentioned. It was kind of like Cyril Gane lost his title unification fight. I didn't even say his name.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. When you're dead to the UFC, you're dead to the UFC.
Well, you know what was real weird when you bring that up, that there's like, is there some type of politics going on and who you can talk about and what you can say? I really thought, I don't know if I'm the only one, but I even tweeted on Twitter, I couldn't believe that the Pickett fight, when Pickett got kneed in the nuts, it was obviously, I don't know if he was acting or not, it was obviously a big reaction from him.
Yeah.
And if the ref thought it didn't hit the groin, then fine. But the commentators didn't say a single word about it.
And even on the replay, which I thought was so strange.
They all, I mean, I think they all purposely ignored it. There's no way Cormier, Joe Rogan, Anik, who else was there? Megan Olivia, had 4 people commentating. And how can not even one of them mention like, ooh, because it, I don't know if it was a play to get a minus point or what it was, I don't know if it really did hit, but if it really did hit, it definitely narrowed his stance. He grimaced and he relaxed for a bit, and Bo Nickel capitalized on it and took him down. The position that he lost in was gained because of that groin strike.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I
know. I felt the same especially when it happened on the TV, right? Like I was thinking, how come the ref didn't even? Normally, the ref will at least investigate, even if they miss the low blow. If they see the fighter's reaction, they normally give them the benefit of the doubt because the fighter's not going to really pull that reaction. But yeah, it was because it literally changed the whole thing in the fight, right? Jamie Pickett got taken straight down.
It changed the whole position of the fight, and you know, like you, I was kind of like, whoa, the ref didn't say anything. He's not going to even pause it.
Yeah.
And then I saw him get into a bad position. I thought, okay, now it's too late for the ref to jump in so late. And that, you know, that didn't definitely blow me. I mean, that didn't necessarily blow me away. It was kind of like, that's weird. Or maybe the ref decided that it wasn't a groin strike, regardless if he made a grimace or not. Maybe the ref felt that, you know, he didn't make the call right away. He couldn't make it now. It's too late. But what blew me away was no one on the commentating team said anything about it. During the replay, during the fight, at the end of the fight, nobody. And I was saying to myself, I'm sitting there at the TV thinking, am I fucking blind, or did I just see something? Did I just hallucinate something?
Yeah. It's because I think so often the commentators don't see something the first time, but when they see the replay and they're like, oh, that happened. And it was just so weird that they went silent on that low blow.
Yeah, and you know the thing that makes it real skeptical is he was actually doing a good job staying away from the takedown. He had a good base and a good stance. You know, he had it where Bo Nickel couldn't get in low and get leverage to take him down. And that groin shot, he narrowed his stance. He grimaced. He relaxed. He got thrown. It's like that knee alone changed the whole movement of the fight.
Yeah.
And for nobody to say anything or even comment on it during the replay, anything during the whole event.
Yeah, I don't think
only time it came out was when on Twitter and on social media after people saying, "What the hell just happened?"
Yeah, I don't think anyone asked Dana about it.
There's a curveball to that where Pickett didn't even complain about
it. He looked like he kind of wanted to say something though, like when I'm not, because he was kind of like I think when they announced winners, he was like that sort of thing, and I don't know. I'm just maybe
when it first happened, looked like he was appealing it, but I don't know. For me, it felt like if it really was something that hurt him and changed his balance and everything, I think he would have been more persistent on it. But if he tried to just play possum to get, you know, maybe a possible point deduction on the next one, that's a possibility, because for him to just have not even argued it or just gave up on it, maybe he was like, oh shit, they could, maybe the replay shows that it didn't really hit my nuts.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen their interviews after the event. I think someone
he came back and he announced that he's protesting it now.
Oh, really? Wow. There you go.
But that's after he saw the video. So I'm wondering, you know, why that things in, you know, there's so much stuff, and that's beside the point. I mean, the fact that the commentating team didn't say anything still doesn't change that.
Yeah, super weird. Just because it was like so obvious in the replay, you see him go like that.
And I'm almost thinking that, you know how there's all the rumors about how the UFC can control the media. The UFC doesn't allow the commentators to say the word Bellator or any other event. I'm wondering if they went a step and beyond and told them not to talk any bad things about Bo Nickel because he's their next hype train. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just making guesses, but it was just way too weird that no one in the commentating team said anything about the groin shot.
Yeah, I hope not. I mean, not mentioning a promotion is one thing, but that's like a step too far to not call the action, right? So hopefully it's just...
Yeah, what really got me by surprise was Joe Rogan always calls it like it is no matter what.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But man, maybe he did. I don't know. I was pretty blown away by it. I was almost a little upset watching the TV, saying, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, yeah, same. But yeah, so before that, I was sort of saying about how Ngannou's been like erased. So sometimes there's been a couple of weird instances of stuff going on in the UFC lately. We should look into it.
It's always been that way, man. Everything has been that way, man. There's all these little, you know, conspiracy theory people talking. You know, Mark Hunt goes off on them all the time. You know,
Mark Hunt does go off on them.
I mean, that he had a post of a picture of John Jones just cheating rat, and he called us every name in the book, cunt, everything. Like,
yeah, yeah. Mark just tells it how it is, I guess. But
exactly how he feels, man. You gotta love that.
I mean, he's still pissed about that whole Lesnar fight, right? The fact that
I don't blame him too.
But again, that's another like shady thing, right? Sometimes if you've got the star level, you can get away with. Hey ho. So moving on in the heavyweight, they're talking about John Jones versus Stipe Miocic. You excited about that fight?
Well, yeah. Well, for me, John Jones fighting in the heavyweights period is just a very new look, and I'd like to see how he does with all the different heavyweights. Stipe is, I think, a better complete package than Ciryl Gane.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's smarter. He has more tools, and he creates a little bit more danger. I believe Stipe is a much well-rounded fighter. So, I mean, that's something I definitely do want to see. I mean, with that said, I'd also would like to see him fight Derek Lewis, Curtis Blades. You know,
yeah.
I mean, there's so many people that I would want to see John Jones fight.
There's that Russian dude Pavlich that hits like an absolute truck.
That guy I think that's going to be the next big danger, man.
That's the one they should. I mean, the with the Miocic is like he hasn't fought in ages. His last fight was the loss to Ngannou. I don't know why it has to be the next fight. I'm not feeling it as like there's so many people that have earned it more than Miocic. And people will say like, oh, his resume, this and that, but just not feeling that fight. You know, it's not the one I want to see. Like you, I want to see Jones in heavyweight. If we get it sooner, great. I want to see that. But the Miocic one I don't think that's a big enough test. Not right now. I feel like Miocic needs another win before he gets that title shot.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So co-main event, Alexa Grasso beats Valentina Shevchenko.
Unbelievable. I would have never guessed it on my wildest dreams. I mean, you'd never bet against Shevchenko, you know?
I picked Shevchenko in the end, but I was really torn about it because I remember when Alexa Grasso first came over from Invicta, she had such hype. Everyone said like she's going to be the future champion. And then I think the hype train kind of slowed down a little bit. But then if you remember Shevchenko's last fight, it was kind of like you could see there was some chinks in the armor. And in that first round, man, I was like, whoa, okay. Like standing, Alexa Grasso looks like she's got the edge.
Well, you know what's real interesting is, you know, you have these many champions that seem untouchable until they lose. Like Max Holloway, Jose Aldo, Anthony Pettis, Dos Anjos. You know, they're all seemed untouchable. They're running the divisions that they were in, and the moment they lost, all of a sudden they couldn't win. And I'm thinking, I'm wondering if Valentina's last fight, I mean, I think that could have easily. I thought she didn't win that fight. So I mean, whether she got the W or the L, it didn't matter. I think inside she knew that I think maybe she realized that she's not as invincible as she thought, and maybe that last fight that she had, although it was a win, maybe that could act as a loss to, like, you know, when Jose Aldo just lost and Anthony Pettis first lost. You know, maybe that's what happened. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. She looked so human, so I couldn't believe it. I mean, not taking anything away from Alexa Grasso, her hands look really sharp.
Yeah, definitely right. And then the fact that the finish came from Shevchenko throwing that spinning kick, but Grasso just jumping on it. Wow, it's cool that they said that she trained for that. So they actually that was part of the strategy, that they anticipated she was going to throw the spinning kicks, and that
she did. I think she threw about 3 or 4 of them before that.
Yeah. So it's cool to see something to pay off in training, right? But yeah, it was funny when she first tapped, because of the camera. I was like, did she tap? Like, is this going to be a controversial finish? And then on the replay they showed like there was like a proper tap, but it was quite.
You know the thing though, they say that the tap has to be 3 or more times. She tapped twice.
Ooh, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, now there was no question she was tapping, but still, that could easily have been a controversy if she tried to play that game. You know.
Yeah. You might still, you never know, right? Like you might tomorrow.
I was what I was actually most surprised about is that the fact that she tapped.
Really? Yeah. Yeah.
I thought she'd go out on her shield and go to sleep, man. You know, I mean, she's like that cold-hearted Russian, that killer, you know, that almost like a serial killer, has this real stoic demeanor about her that you would think that she would be willing to, you know, go to sleep, you know, but she tapped out. I mean, I believe that when people tap, it doesn't show weakness. What it shows that you've been mentally broken. Because for you to switch your mindset on getting out of what you're in to, oh shit, I gotta tap before I go to sleep, is a whole process of where the mental toughness breaks. And your mindset is totally not focused on the mission at hand, but more focused on the situation that you're in. And that surprised me. I thought she was a lot more, you know, strong-minded, strong-hearted. I thought that she would be able to overcome that, but man.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's because of the demeanor she plays. Did you see that she was in Japan like before this fight?
Yeah, I didn't even know that, but I saw that on the embedded that she was actually in Japan. I was like, wow, cool.
They were saying it's the Japanese MMA curse.
Oh shit! I was thinking that. I was thinking, damn, maybe she might not come back to Japan to train anymore. Damn.
Because there's always that thing about Japanese fighters coming over to the US and something goes wrong in the fights and that, and it's like she went to train and then she gets a loss.
Yeah, all the Japanese fighters never did, except Horiguchi. They've never done really well in the Bellator or the UFCs, you know.
Even he recently got knocked out though in Bellator. So you remember he had that what's his name? Sergio Pettis. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of weird that she goes and trains there and then wow. I'm sure it has nothing to do with it, it's just coincidence, but it's still quite funny that happened. But yeah, I don't know. Do you want to see an immediate rematch?
I don't know, because I don't know if Grasso could actually do it again.
Oh.
Yeah, because I felt Grasso was actually getting tired. Shevchenko had a good game plan on taking her down and wearing her out. And I thought Shevchenko was up 2 rounds to 1. I thought Grasso won the first.
Yeah.
And Shevchenko won the next 2. So she was actually, you know, I thought maybe she was going to, if she didn't finish the choke, I think it would have been 2-2, and the 5th round would have been the deciding round. But I thought that Grasso was slowing down and tiring a lot more than Shevchenko was.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I had the same scorecard. It seemed like Shevchenko was going to sort of run away with it at the end, but just the fact that she capitalized on it. But yeah, I don't know.
You know, the whole division was pretty much at a standstill because nobody could even challenge Shevchenko. So I almost feel like I'd love to see, you know, Grasso hold it for a bit, and you know, there's going to be a lot more interesting fights now. So all the people that fought Shevchenko and didn't have a chance, let's have them fight Grasso now. And I'm just afraid that Shevchenko's going to come in, correct her mistakes like she probably will, and she'll beat Grasso, and then it'll be back at that, oh, there's no competition for Shevchenko now, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this once before, right? With Amanda Nunes. The same thing happened, right? She lost to Juliana Pena. and then she came back.
Yeah.
And yeah, when was that fight? Let's just look it up now. Yeah, she won the decision, right? Back in July. So she had that big surprise loss to Gianna Pena. They do an immediate rematch, and then Nunes wins again. So it's like back to that whole cycle. So maybe that's why, because they asked Dana, do you want to do that rematch? And he was like, he didn't seem that committed to it, which I was surprised, because normally when they're big champions, they say, yeah, well, they've earned it. They did the rematch. So I was like, oh, okay. So, but I do think she's earned it. Like, to have defended the belt as many times as she did. So I feel like they should. Like, that's one where I think, yeah, immediate rematch. Unlike
it's just such a weird thing. It's so inconsistent.
Yeah.
Because you got a lot of people that should be getting immediate rematch but don't get it. I mean, somebody like Cyborg, you know, she didn't get a rematch on Nunes, which is, I thought, was crazy.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, it's that star power. Again, it's that star power. It's that the one who has that pull in the company, the one that will bring numbers and bring pay-per-view buys. And I think if Dana feels like the rematch will bring pay-per-view buys, it'll happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it will. Maybe we'll see it. Who knows? But yeah, no, it was an exciting fight. But yeah, the fight before that, Rhakmonov versus Jeff Neal. Kind of touched on it before, man, but I was just every time I watch Rhakmonov fight, I'm so impressed, because he can just eat the shots, and the way he throws these punches as well. They just like if I have some of the most scariest fighters, I think, right now in the UFC, he's got to be like up there regardless of weight class.
Yeah, he's good, and he has that cold demeanor that, like, he don't care if he gets hurt, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah, literally. Like the fact that we said before, like the mouth guard, the gum shield, was just out for what, like 3-4 minutes. He didn't care. He was just still going for it. He didn't care how many like teeth he could lose. Like most fighters these days will sort of stop, like be like, or say something to the ref, because Herb didn't spot it, right? Herb didn't see it for like a good couple of minutes. So what would you like to see next for him?
I don't know. Who's in his division?
So he called out Colby Covington, which could be an interesting fight. The dream fight I think people are talking about is, one day will we get Rhakmonov versus Chimaev, because you got this similar sort of like, these are two tough guys. What does that fight look like? I think that's almost like a dream fight in the future, I think, if these guys keep on winning. Who else you got? You got Burns, Masvidal. I think they're booked to fight, but
wow, that's a pretty killer division, man.
Yeah, Usman versus Edwards is happening this month as well, so we'll get a clear-cut winner hopefully in that trilogy. So it's exciting, man. He's the one to watch, I think, in welterweight. He has been for a while, and I think this one had more eyeballs on his performance. So let's see what happens next.
Oh, you know what fight also that I really was impressed with, and I was kind of looking forward to watching, is Ribas.
Oh man, the Ribas.
Yeah, she did good, man. She's
really,
because I think, who did she fight now? Arazo. Fuck, I can't pronounce her name. But she's a black belt and supposed to have real good striking, yeah. But Ribas was checking her big time on the striking, and then, you know, she ends up finishing the fight. It was pretty impressive. I like her because she's such a pure soul, and you know, geeking out at when she first went to the UFC, geeking out at all the other UFC fighters.
Yeah,
I mean, she's such a clean soul. I mean, almost like Cyril Gane. They're such good people that you kind of want them to win. So yeah, that was a good win. I was kind of happy. Hey, you know, the funny thing is, I actually me and Sarah put some money on Grasso.
No, really? Nice. That's a good way.
We talked about it. I told Sarah, it's just like a donation of money, man. There's no way she's gonna have a chance. And Sarah was like, "What do we just put $50?" Well, so I think we ended up cashing out like 300 something on that. You know, just
Nice.
make it a little more exciting. Yeah.
I heard them say on the commentary for Grasso to win by submission was 25-1. So that's really good odds. But yeah, MMA is such a hard one to bet on sometimes because there's just so many ways to lose. It's like, but it's funny that you're still picking Shevchenko in the rematch, even though Grasso just won you like $300.
Well, I just saw a lot of chinks. I mean, she did the right. She got a good thing, took the back, got to choke him. But the back take was very almost like everything had to fall into place for that spinning back kick to miss and her to get the back so fast.
Yeah.
So for her to actually get the back on technique, is that possible? She was tiring in the fight. She did catch Shevchenko, but she was tiring. I thought Southpaw threw Shevchenko off where she couldn't use a lot of her middle kicks. I don't think she was ready for a southpaw when Grasso kept switching to the southpaw. So there's a lot of things that Valentina wasn't ready for, and still with that fact that she was taking Grasso down anytime she wanted to, pretty almost not that bad, but yeah, she's taking Grasso down pretty easily. And I saw Grasso slowing down. I mean, thinking of Valentina working more with a southpaw.
Yeah,
the striking needs to stay the same. You know, being more careful about getting her back taken.
Yeah, I think Valentina's got a really high fight IQ, right? She's like faced everyone, so she knows like how to make those adjustments. So see what happens if they do a rematch. You might change your pick close to the time, but we'll see. Anything noteworthy on the prelims? I haven't seen them yet. I heard Ian Gary had quite a good performance. I
thought Cody Garbant looked really well.
Yeah, that's good. That's cool.
I was super happy to see him doing. He looked really sharp. But you know, the other thing is, you know, Jones. He what's his name? That's his name, Trevor Jones.
What? Who fought
Cody Garbant's opponent? His name was Jones. He's from Guam.
Yeah,
but,
Trevor Jones. Yeah.
That guy has such heavy hands. He's fast. You know, they say there's a saying in basketball that you're going to miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And I felt like he just wouldn't let his hands go. Even his corner was in there telling him, let your hands go, and he just wouldn't let his hands go. It was the most frustrating thing, you know, but
right. Yeah,
I thought Cody looked well, really good though.
Yeah, there looked like some good stuff on the prelims. I need to go back and check some of those out because there's definitely some like potential big stars that won their matches. I saw you got a call out from Mr. Rogan himself.
Yeah, he actually mentioned me again. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was fun. I saw people joking about the way he said your name.
What did he say? Inoue.
He was just like Inoue or something like that. Just the way he said it was quite like.
You know that's the proper pronunciation is like saying E and saying no way. So Inoue.
Really?
Inoue. Yeah, and the accent goes on the no, Inoue.
Right.
He does it on the E, Inoue.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like a real minor issue, and you know what? Playing racquetball in the States, our name got hacked way worse. I mean, some people just the Americans just couldn't understand so many vowels in a row, so they changed the U to a V. So at times we were called Inoue. And sometimes they made the O, all of a sudden grow a little tail and turn to a Q. And we're sometimes called InQ. So
nice.
I personally think Joe's doing pretty good. You know, I think I didn't even notice it. I mean, in a way, he says it like that, but it's so proper, and I didn't even think anything until someone said something about it. I was like, oh shit, that's right. So the accent is on the wrong syllable.
Yeah. And I saw
But
someone
yeah, that
else
was
say,
cool though, to be called out. I mean, to be giving a little love from Joe Rogan again. And the funny thing that I thought was the way Cormier reacted. I'm wondering if he even knows who I am.
yeah, that's what I saw some in the comments, I think, say the same thing. Like, I wonder if DC knows who you are.
Because if he knew who I was, I think he would have said something. Yeah, how can you not know Enson? You know. But he just kind of went on like, oh yeah, they don't watch MMA. You know, it's like.
Do you?
And no one else chimed in. Megan, Olivia, Anik, no one else chimed in. I'm thinking, shit. I mean,
it's a long time ago.
Nothing bad on them. I think it just shows how much of an expert and a historian Joe is in MMA.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I agree. I love that about Joe, that he'll like bring stuff back from like 99 or 2000s, or it'll just randomly throw in like a Pride reference or something like that, which is really cool. Like, it needs to happen, right? Otherwise this stuff is going to disappear. Like, it's people like Joe that actually keep it alive. The memories live on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it'd be good to see like more of some of the commentators talk about that sort of stuff. I saw Laura Sanko mention Megumi Fuji once, and I was like, whoa, do you know who Megumi Fuji is? I was impressed, because that's, I didn't know how much of a fan, but I think she knows her stuff. I
think Cormier also does that, but I think his history doesn't go as in depth as Joe does.
Right. Yeah. You think a lot of people kind of became fans 2005 with the whole Ultimate Fighter? That's kind of where a lot of people's sort of timeline begins. Whereas a lot of the hardcore fans, a lot of the fans that watch this podcast, right, it starts from 93 or wherever, or they've started at a later date and then gone back and watched it and studied it. And so, yeah, so it's just kind of dependent on your approach. But yeah. But yeah, that did make me laugh when I heard DC's reaction. Like, oh man, they don't watch the fights. I was like,
the funny thing is, I didn't even know he did that. I was watching the fights, but I was making a big campfire, so I'd go in and out making campfire, feeding my fish, and I just sat down, was watching the fights. I was actually watching that fight, and someone actually tweeted and sent me like some message on Instagram saying that, holy, cool to get some love from Joe. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What fight? What round?
Yeah. Let me get my
I went and looked it up and screen recorded it and posted it on my social media.
Yeah. No, those jokes. Those good times. Yeah, so pretty fun UFC event. I thought overall, it was a really fun card. Like, it definitely delivered in terms of the fights. We had like really good fight of the year candidate. We also had the.
I still can't believe that Valentino lost.
Just be happy with that payday.
How much did you get paid?
No, your payday.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I'd be chuffed anyway. Just a quick note, just the other MMA note. RIZIN Landmark 5. Woo! So obviously Yoshi's fighting on that card, but that card looks great. That is going to be a fun card.
It is a good card, and I think Tsuyoshi and Roque is going to be a hell of a fight, man. I mean, I don't think either of them has an easy easy strategy to beat each other.
Yeah.
But, it's pretty much a toss-up, I think. Roque's a tough son of a bitch. Roque can take shots. Roque's the type of guy that will go to war.
Yeah.
I think Tsuyoshi more athletic, more movement, but I think if it goes into the grind, I think Roque will have that perseverance to pull through. I don't know, man. It's going to be a pretty crazy fight. We're trying to prep for it now, but
yeah,
all I know is I'm letting Tsuyoshi know that you're going to be in for a fucking hell of a fight. So let's train hard and see what happens. Go do as best you can. I mean, Roque is actually a student of one of my students
over in Guam, right?
Yeah, so it was like a shitty. When they mentioned Roque to me, I was straight up like, no, that can't happen. And two things happened after that happened was Tsuyoshi expressed the desire to fight Roque.
Okay.
And I didn't want to do that because I didn't think Roque was a good fight for him right now. You know, I thought that the style that Roque had was a hard style for Tsuyoshi, especially how tough Roque is.
Yeah.
So I didn't really want that, but he wanted it. The promotion wanted it. And what actually brought me over the edge was I reached out to Melker, Roque's trainer, mentioned it to him, and he actually, I think what I felt from them was that it's such a huge opportunity for Roque. And if I asked, you know, if I told them no, we shouldn't be doing this because we're almost like on the same team, I'd be taking a lot away from Roque. You know, it's a big chance for him to fight in Japan again, right after leaving the UFC. You know, and that was a big part of my decision that I don't like the whole idea about it, but you know, Roque's a sportsman, Tsuyoshi a sportsman. They're not like in my mindset like kill or be killed. They're more sporty. They're this new generation. A big opportunity for Roque. The promotion wanted it. Tsuyoshi wanted it. Me and Moker were good with it. We said, oh, we're going to be cool looking at each other across the ring, you know. So, I mean, I felt like the only thing that was holding up was my old school belief that I'm going to try and kill you and I can't kill a friend, you know. And I think I just got to soften my head and, you know, broaden my thoughts and say, you know what, Hans, you're not in that old school days. This is the new school. And you have teammates fighting each other sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm excited to see that fight. I hope there's a handshake this time.
No shit.
Yeah, especially given everything you just said.
Well, I hope Roque doesn't try to shake his hand because I don't want to see Tsuyoshi not shake his hand.
Yeah, that would suck. So
that would suck.
That would suck. Yeah, I mean, they went in a different direction. I thought they were going to give him Kaliu, the guy that his brother lost to, which I thought kind of made sense. Maybe, I don't know, see where the guy's at in terms of level. But yeah, I'm excited.
Well, I think they wanted to give him that guy, but I think that the reason why they didn't was because he's lost to Shibisai. And I think if Tsuyoshi lost to him, I think his stock would have dropped.
Yeah, true.
You know, Roque, tough guy. He beat who did he beat? He beat that American guy, that tough American guy. He beat that guy. He knocked out Shrek pretty good. I felt he beat Krokop before the cut. And he just came from the UFC. I mean, Roque's a huge name.
Yeah.
Losing to Roque won't drop Tsuyoshi's stock.
It's cool. It's cool to have him back in RIZIN for sure. Like, I'm excited to see that. So, but yeah, the rest of the card looks awesome. So Kaliu is actually fighting the guy who fought TK in TK's last fight. You know, the karate guy.
That's going to be exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's cool. More heavyweight fights on the card. We obviously got Ren Hiromoto versus Saito. Yep. And then Mikuru versus Ushiku. So
yeah.
And the bad blood between Mikuru and Ren just keeps on going, right?
They're setting that up for a big maybe year-end fight, maybe, huh?
I hope so. They got to win the next two fights. I mean, if they both lose, you can still do that fight. But if one wins and the other one doesn't, it's a bit like, whoa, okay.
Didn't they just announce Archuleto's fighting on the April 2nd card?
Yeah, they haven't said his opponent, but apparently he's going to be on the card. So,
wow, cool.
Yeah, I know. RIZIN's got lots of good stuff coming up this year, I think.
I'm anticipating some Hawaii names in that too. I hope so.
Nice. Hopefully so. But yeah, awesome. Any final thoughts before we wrap this one up?
No, that's it. We got to do our trip to Thailand soon.
So we got to get it booked. We need more in-person content. The last one was so good.
I just drove down Yakuza Road last night and we survived.
Yeah, I saw the video. It was Sarah driving as well, right? I'm pretty sure they saw the front.
She's the real gangster.
Yeah. Took one look at Sarah and was like, nah, not today.
We had a couple stairs, and unfortunately, after I turned off the video at the end of the street, there was a Yakuza walking down and kind of like I want to say looked at us real weird.
Kind of glared at you.
Yeah. So when we walked down the street after we parked the car, I thought we're gonna see him, but we didn't. So uneventful drive down Yakuza Road.
Just a quiet little drive. But hey, well, next time I'm in Japan, I'll do it and we'll see what happens.
And I'll wait up the street and see what happens.
Yeah, you don't even get in the car. No.
That'd be even more exciting. You'd be that stupid foreigner driving down the wrong road.
Yeah. But if you guys did not see that episode, make sure you check it out because it was a good fun time with the former Yakuza member. So check it out. And yeah, we'll be back again soon. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for coming, everybody. Okay, UFC 285 is in the books. John Jones is back. We have a new champion in Alexa Grasso. Bo Nichols, hype is still real. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, share, and stay safe, and have a good day.